Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for video 3 of Journaling on a Budget. I'm going to be making a calendar journal, and so I thought that I would show you how I'm putting it together. I always wanted to take one of these little calendars and make it into a journal, but the thing is that once you take the staples out and go to put more pages in, what happens is the only one that will be together, March and March, will be the center page. Once you put a page in between each one, you put a page in there, and what's going to happen is your page will be over here, wrapped around here, and half of February will be here, and half of February will be here. So what I did was I took my calendar and I copied it on the copy machine so that the whole month was on one page, okay? And then I cut cardstock just a little bit bigger all the way around. I did 1/8 of an inch all the way around so that when I folded that in half, that would be my page for December. Now, I did want to show you how I score, because what happens is, first off, on my scoreboard, I marked every inch mark at every inch. I used an orange Sharpie and I drew a line down in the groove so that I could, because I had a hard time when I started at the top figuring out where I needed to go at the bottom, and I'd get off, especially on cardstock. It's harder to score cardstock. So with those lines, I know if I start here, I know I have to come down to here. It's easier for me to keep it straight. And so what I did was, and then each half-inch mark, I did it on turquoise, and then there's just a couple marks between there, so it's easier to figure out where you're going. So my page needs to be scored at 3 7/8. Your page is, that's just the middle, so you're just going to, whatever size your page is, you're going to score it in the middle. And so what I usually do to score is I start at the top and I put a bit of a score. Now I know that this is my 4-inch line, and so I go to the bottom, I need to come over one mark, and then I start from the bottom and then I go upwards, and I kind of rock back and forth, especially with cardstock, because that helps keep that groove going. So, and then when you fold them, I always thought that this dented part should go on the inside, but they say that the dented part has been stretched, and so that's actually supposed to be folded to the outside. I don't know that it makes a difference, but that's what I've heard. So, and then just score it. I tend to kind of use my nails, but they leave a mark, so use your bone folder to score it. And then that is going to be for December. Now, if I were to glue this down on both sides, what's going to happen is then when I put the next page in, it is going to cut December in half, just what I didn't want. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to just glue down just the front side of each month, and I'm going to leave the second side loose. So that way when I open it up, December is going to open up and it's all going to be together, even though there's another signature or another page in there. And so how I would do that is, here is, I'm going to take these all apart so I can show you how to put it together. Okay, so you start with your very first month. Each of my signatures has 4 months, so this is September, October, November, and December. So here is September. I'm going to glue just the front side and then fold this over. Leave the back open. And then we're going to go to October and put that one in there. And we are going to glue, well, that's November. We're going to put in October, and we're going to glue just the front side, just here, leave the back side undone, and then do November. Put in November, because now see, this is all together when you open up that page. We are going to glue just the front side and leave the second side open. And then December. Now with the center of each signature, if you want, you can glue both sides, because that's all one page. So you could glue both sides of that if you want to, or leave it like all of the other pages. So then when you go to look through it, each month is on its own page, and then you will have this extra here that you can put journaling spots on, or you can put quotes on there. And then on the back of each month, I will probably put another piece of paper just to make that a little bit more sturdy, because that's just a piece of regular copy paper. So when you get to December, then what you're going to have after that is you are going to have these blank pages that you can use to enter things, to put tags, tuck spots, and all of that. So, and you could put tags and tuck spots in the back of each month too. So, but that is how you put them together. But the one thing I forgot about was when you put your signatures together, they walk out like this. You've got the tan, the orange, the pink, and the green, and I wanted mine to be all the same size. But when you fold them and put them together, each one pushes the next page out just a little bit more, And so that's how you wind up with this. So I have a really strong guillotine cutter, and I thought, well, it's a strong guillotine cutter. I will just take my signature and I'll put it in there and I'll chop it. Well, it didn't work very well. It made a mess of the pages. I couldn't even get all the way to the bottom. Then I trimmed it up with scissors, and I'll fix this up. It is all now the same width. I don't have all those pages sticking out, but it's quite messy, and I'll just have to fix that up. So the one thing is, you want to leave your pages maybe just a little bit bigger than, well, you don't really need to leave them bigger because you're going to trim them down to the same size anyways. So, but in order to get them all the same size, the best way to do it is to take your signature, get it together where you want it, and then take a ruler. Hold your ruler on the top page of the signature, put it right on the edge, and use an X-Acto knife and trim off each page all the way down. And when you get to the bottom, they will all be nice and even and nice and straight. So, but if you don't want to use an X-Acto knife and you do want to cut it with your trimmer, what you'll need to do is you'll need to do each section. And I'm going to leave my calendar pages in with its section, because what's going to happen is they might get trimmed off a little bit also. But I'm going to take this one, leave that page in there, and I'm going to mark it at the edge of the tan, which is the top of the top page of my signature, and I'm just going to put a mark there. Now this mark is just to the outside of my page, so when I cut it, I'm going to cut it to the inside. So I'm going to put these two together and cut this just to the inside of my mark. Make sure that you're kind of straight, and then that should fit in there, and it should be even. So there we go. That fits in there. It's nice and even. Now, what you're going to need to do is then take your next page, put that one in. Oops, wait a minute. No. You need to leave in the page that you put in and put this in its place, because this orange piece is going to move the pink out a little bit more. So now now we've got more of the pink than we did of the orange, and I'm going to mark that right at the edge of my top page and cut that one off. And then I'm going to put that one back in, put in my last page. See, now we've got even more that needs to be cut off. So each one will get a little bit wider as you go once you start cutting. And we're going to cut that just on the inside of that mark. And this one is definitely going to cut my calendar. That's why you want to leave your calendar pages in there. And cut just to the inside of that mark. So, and then even though it did cut my calendar just a little bit, and I'm not going to have, if I wanted to have the 1/8 of an inch all the way around, I could take my calendar page out and just cut an 1/8 of an inch off of it, and then I will have the 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I don't think I'm going to bother doing that, but there we go. Now we have it, and it's all nice and even. And instead of walking out and looking like this, it looks like this. So it just depends on the look that you're looking for. The walking out doesn't really make a difference. It gives you a little bit of color there. You might like that, and so you could leave it that way. But if you want them to be straight, either cut it with a ruler and X-Acto knife, or mark each page separately with your tan page, one at a time, keeping them together so that each one walks out to its actual spot, and then you'll have them all nice and even. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that if you make a calendar journal that you have a really good time. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.